Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's video about the new moon in Cancer happening here in June of 2022. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
I'm Julia Mijas in Pioneer, California.
And here's the chart of this moon. As you can see, it's a new moon because the sun and the moon are together. They always are perfectly conjunct when it's a new moon. And they conjunct in 7 degrees of Cancer. They have a square to Jupiter in Aries. That makes this moon a little bit more bombastic than it would be. And then there's a trine to Vesta in Pisces. So we're calling this one Ready to Explode, Seek Sacred Containment. And we're calling it that because this Jupiter in Aries is loaded with energy, and it's warrior energy, and it's heroic energy, and it's very inspired and enthusiastic, but it can also be, a little too big, maybe a lot big, too big for its britches at times, overbearing and demanding as well. I think the moon in Cancer doesn't like that very much because the moon in Cancer has this like softness and nurturing quality and sensitivity too. So this is a kind of a moody moon. And Julia, I'm wondering what your thoughts are about this.
Yeah, well, Cancer is the sign of home and family. It can be a very emotional sign. So this is a pretty emotional new moon. But I think for the most part, it's the emotions, and the Cancer's moody no matter what. but overall the emotions have a very uplifting quality to them too, with that square from Jupiter.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's something to that. And new moons, of course, are new beginnings. They happen again every month. There's this feeling of freshness and rebirth about new moons. And they're really good times for planting seeds that will emerge from the ground later. Those seeds must be planted in the dark of the new moon. And so we don't see results right away, but they will, sprout and flower and bear fruit later on. And I do think that there can be some seeds of inspiration that are planted with the influence of this Jupiter. And some of those might also just be, let's think about this for a minute, Julia. Jupiter in Aries is just really pushy and demanding. And really like in a golden retriever kind of way too.
Yeah.
Like, like this is the dog that is, beautiful and enthusiastic and full of love, and then just comes and like knocks you over with that. And so it's a really big mood, right?
Yeah, very much.
So what do you think about the trine to Vesta and how that can help to soften, maybe some of the rough edges of that Jupiter?
Oh, yeah. You know what I think Vesta particularly does well in this is, Vesta is an asteroid that can have a lot to do with focus and concentration too. And Jupiter in Aries can be just so big and so, ebullient and larger than life, that it might just kind of scatter itself far too easily and not have the sort of pinpoint focus that Vesta is really lending here. It's kind of helping to sort of rein in, especially in the sign of Pisces, which is a more emotional, spiritual, intuitive sign, does kind of help sort of rein in Jupiter and Aries scattershot attention and focus.
Yeah. So it seems to me the formula here is if the Jupiter square to the new moon is giving you a really big energy that might seem really inspired and exciting, but also is kind of off-putting to people around you because it's so big and so unaware of its impact or its footprint, then the solution is to use Vesta's capacity for focus, for containment, for the delineation of sacred space to mitigate or channel that enthusiasm in a way that's more gentle, more compassionate, more sensitive to what other people around you need. And then I would think the seeds planted during this new moon will probably yield better fruit in the future.
Yes. And, another really special aspect in this chart, I mean, Jupiter is right on 7 degrees. This is a very tight aspect. I think this will be very strongly felt, is that Jupiter and the sun are both in each other's sign of exaltation. So the sun is exalted in Aries. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. And exaltation, it's not the home of the planet, but it's a sign that the planet can really do well in and really gain a lot of strength. And even with a hard aspect, a reception can definitely be a bit mitigating as well too. But it really, I mean, I think this is this is one of the stronger new moons I've seen in a little while. And it also is very fertile, fertile on in terms of creating people, fertile in terms of growing your family, like acquiring new pets, planting plants. Those are, and even though Ceres isn't technically aspecting, it's still in Cancer. It's still part of the Cancer energy, and Ceres does pretty well in Cancer too. So there's a lot of fertility here. Like if there's any way you want to expand your family, expand your home, put some vegetables in your garden, I think that this would be a very fruitful new moon for that kind of activity.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you mentioned that. And it is so true. Ceres being the Earth Mother is the other mother archetype. And her placement in Cancer definitely amps up the fertility possibilities of this moon. So I would say if you don't want to conceive, maybe pay closer attention to your contraception.
Work on that Vesta part. Focused.
It's all about the containment. All right. Well, if you have anything in your chart at all, these numbers are wrong. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. I will fix that before I put this video out. But so if you have anything actually between 2 degrees and 12 degrees of any cardinal sign at all, you will absolutely feel this moon. And that's what we got for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. You can find videos like this on our monthly forecast page where you'll find the news of the month. The other moon of this month will be there, and that's the full moon in Sagittarius. You can find this moon and other things like it on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, in the June 2022 news playlist. And you can hear us talk about how these moons play out in your horoscope on the horoscopes tab of our website, pandoraastrology.com. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye-bye.
Bye.